Hello, thank you for taking the time to hear us today.
Thank you for your patience.
Oh, of course. I am a community organizer at the George Wiley Center, and frequently, day to day, we see folks coming in who, between rent and their utilities, are sometimes paying upwards of 60%, 70% of their gross monthly income before any other cost of living expenses. As Representative Slater mentioned, this bill has been enacted in other states. It was enacted in a pilot program in Warwick. It was very popular, helped a lot of people, and Rhode Island could have been a torchbearer for this. Unfortunately, other states such as Ohio, New Jersey, New Hampshire took the torch and have this program enacted on a statewide basis. And I think it is time that we catch up and we enact the percentage of income payment plan. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Chairman Phillips.
Just a quick question.
Sure.
How long has these other states had this in place, and do you have enough data to make sure it's able to be sustainable?
Well, it has been, so it was in the 80s when it was enacted in Warwick as a pilot program.
Okay.
So I do not have the specific date for each state enacting it, but between that time and now, they have been in place. And it is sustainable because it is funded through LIHEAP funds from the federal government.
Okay. All right, I just wanted to make, because if we have just 1 or 2 years data, I just want to make sure that we have enough data to say, okay, we're not going to get 5 or 6 years into it and then all of a sudden we have to drop it because it's not sustainable.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it's certainly been in place a lot longer than 2 or 3 years.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Kevin, can you do a favor for me? Can you work with Representative Slater to try to find out which states have it and just try to put a list together
Absolutely.
as to how many states, because I'd like to look more into it. Speaker Pro Tem Henry.
Yes. So Kevin, during my tenure, my 20 years as the chair of this committee, had to work very closely with Henry Shelton from the Wiley Center. He was up here on just about every type of piece of legislation. Of course, one of the things that Henry pushed for, which eventually was adopted by this legislature, was what ends up being a $20 surcharge that is applied to every ratepayer in the state of Rhode Island's bill every single year. I think it's in the month of January for the electric bill. And then if they have natural gas, I think they also get a surcharge on that as well, which directly goes into these particular programs. I don't know if you're aware of that particular aspect that is currently occurring here in the state of Rhode Island.
Was that part of the Henry Shelton Act?
Yes. So, I bring that to your attention because we have been looking at this issue for a very, 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 very long time as to how we can go about addressing this issue and help and assist people that are low income who may not be able to afford their bills. At the same time, we recognize we've had constituents who contact us. In fact, I had a very nasty one less than 2 weeks ago where somebody left me a voicemail saying, I can't believe that I have to, and they dropped some F-bombs within that statement in that voicemail to me, that we're paying this $20 surcharge. So there are people who are not as happy about helping the low-income community on this. I think if we can come up with a method to address this issue, and you pointed out the fact that New Hampshire has already been able to address this in the form of legislation. I don't think that most people would say New Hampshire is a progressive state, but this is a very progressive way that they've addressed this issue. Then perhaps I think maybe we can get closer to getting to a point of solving this problem, or at least one aspect of this problem in the state of Rhode Island. So I'll be interested to see as we move forward where we go with this piece of legislation, if we're able to get to that particular point where we can make something like this work.
Right, and I look forward to following up with you to try and make that happen. And I do believe that within PIP, the funding for the income-sensitive tiered structure of PIP is funded through LIHEAP. So it will not increase ratepayers' prices at all.
Which I think is important. You know, as was pointed out, the concern, I think, in the past has been, especially for an area like our area, which so many homes are dependent on oil heat, for example. So much of our state does not have access to natural gas in order to be able to heat their homes. And so quite often, our congressional delegation has to go out and lobby the other legislators in Congress to get that money in there for the LIHEAP funds. So that's the only thing that I think we're concerned about is going forward, we got to make sure that those LIHEAP funds are available, especially for people here in the Northeast.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Next,
you.
we'll move